Police rescue operations of Lumad students turns out to be an outrageous raid. Filipino family in California victim of racism. President Duterte words may affect Filipinos who fight against gender equality. Trans woman arrested after using women's restroom in Cubao. Jeepney drivers operate on Manila Highway for subsidy.
Live from EBC 1A News Center. One News. Both sides. Full of integrity. Live on action. This is Headlines Express.
Good day, Philippines!
Good day, Caloocan!
It's March 15, 2021, Monday.
Giving you the pertinent news around the metro, angle by angle.
Point by point, the truth is our top priority.
This is Headlines Express!
Cebu Daily Media chose to disappoint Cebuano people with its faulty and malicious reportage of events and the context of Lumad evacuees taking sanctuary in University of San Carlos. Here's Gail Itlanas for the report.
Cebu's mainstream media literally dismayed viewers and readers of the news as they one-sidedly believed the statement from PNP without consulting a word from the involved Lumad community. In reality, the so-called rescue operation of Philippine National Police with Department of Social Welfare and Development appears to be a raid that leads into arrest of 20 students and 7 teachers, which was happened on University of San Carlos in Cebu City. Inside the retreat house of University of San Carlos Talambaon were Lumad students and teachers who were forcefully taken by PNP Central Visayas because of allegedly warfare training inside the university. Save Our School Network opposed the PNP statement because students joined with their own free will.
Sila ay kusang lumahok sa ganitong klaseng paglaban. So walang pagpipilit ang mga dato, ang mga teachers na
Lumad students sought learnings. They attended educational discussion for the past years in Davao City. Some of them went to USC in Cebu City before the pandemic. Save Our School added that students were unable to go home due to pandemic, and the raid happened was mental and emotional torture for minors.
Ito ay mental torture, emotional torture yung mga bata sa ganitong klaseng kalagayan, kahit pandemya ay walang habas, walang tigil yung ganitong pananakot.
They also demanded the immediate release of Lumad students and teachers.
In addition, some militant group protested in front of Commission on Human Rights to reprehend as the said raid of PNP was against the human rights of children and teachers. Lumad School were being targeted since then, as government believed those are training ground of rebels. This is Gail Itlanas reporting.
Nation family is speaking out after San Francisco Tech CEO went on a racist rant that was recorded while they were celebrating last July 4, 2020 at Carmel Valley Restaurant Lucia in California. Here is my report.
The tech CEO was sitting at a table next to them and he began ranting. Raymond Orozco's niece recorded what happened next on her phone as a proof that they can use against the tech CEO. The argument between the tech CEO Michael Lofthouse and Rosa's family became intense as Michael Lofthouse gave the family the finger. That said,
you need to leave.
You do not talk about Jeff like that. You need to leave.
Asian piece of
Oh my god.
after that incident, the tech CEO Michael Lofthouse issued a statement writing, "My behavior in the video is appalling. This was clearly a moment where I lost control and made incredibly hurtful and divisive comments. I would like to deeply apologize to the Chan family. I can only imagine the stress and pain they feel. I was taught to respect people of all races, and I will take time to reflect on my actions and work to better understand the inequality that so many of those around me face every day." On the interview that we had with Raymond Orosa,
he's just saving face, I think. I think he really meant what he said and what he did. I don't believe his words. because his actions speak louder than the words he's saying.
Rosa also says those actions, in part, include additional Instagram comments that appear to have been posted by Tech CEO directed at one of the families supported that include Asian expletive and "come near me or my people" and "you are expletive dead." Lofthouse did not respond to requests for an additional comment about the Instagram post or his role as Solid 8 CEO, a San Francisco-based tech company. On the last part of the interview, Raymond Orosa said,
Say what he did was acceptable or right? No, it isn't. It isn't, because a lot of people will probably disagree with me by saying I forgive him, but I do.
They accepted the apology of the tech CEO, but they don't want that incident happen again on the other customers that are also Asian.
Vice President Leni Robredo criticized President Rodrigo Duterte's statement to Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte that the presidency is not a woman's job. Here's Michelle Paulino for the report.
In President Rodrigo Duterte's speech at the press conference opening of the Skyway Stage 3 project, he declares that the women are not fit for presidency, as he denied that his daughter, Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte, will not run in 2022 presidential election.
And my daughter, iniudyok Manila, sabi ko, my daughter is not running. I have told Inday not to run kasi naaawa ako sa dadaanan niya na dinaanan ko. Hindi ito pambabae.
Duterte's words directly spoke volume about his belief that women could not handle the job of President of the Philippines. On the radio program, Vice President Leni Robredo slams President Rodrigo Duterte for his latest sexist remark, as says women are not cut out to be the President of the Philippines.
Unang-una, alam natin kung ano yung pagtingin ni Pangulo sa mga kababaihan at hindi tayo sang-ayon doon. Napakababa ng pagtingin sa mga kababaihan, kaya nga nangyayari itong mga sinasabi niya.
Robredo added that the president's influence should be used responsibly, and his statement will have an effect on the campaign for gender equality and women's rights.
Alam natin kung ano yung pagtingin ni Pangulo sa mga kababaihan at hindi tayo sang-ayon doon. Napakababa ng pagtingin sa mga kababaihan, kaya nga nangyayari itong mga sinasabi niya. Pangalawa, napapaligiran tayo sa buong mundo, Eli, ng mga babae na napakahuhusay na chief executives. In fact, during the pandemic, yung mga best performing na mga bansa ay led by women. So hindi ko na kailangan itong sagutin ng isa-isa. Pero sa akin lang, Eli, may epekto ito sa laban natin for gender equality, yung rights of women na matagal na natin itong ipinaglalaban. Pag yung Pangulo kasi gumagawa ng mga ganitong statement, may epekto ito sa lahat eh. May epekto ito sa lahat at hindi ito yung values na pinapaniwalaan natin. Yung values na pinapaniwalaan natin, Eli, yung respeto sa kababaihan ay mataas, dapat ginagalang yung mga kababaihan. Yung sa akin, yung participation ng kababaihan sa governance mahalaga. Marami tayo, Kaeling, mga pinaglalaban na women empowerment, gender equality. Pag yung Pangulo nagsalita ng ganito, hindi siya nakakatulong. Nade-deflate niya yung kampanya. Na tingin ko, dapat sana responsibility niya din na maging circumspect sa mga sinasabi. Kasi Pangulo siya eh. Hindi siya ordinaryong tao. Hindi siya ordinaryong tao na yung mga nakakarinig lang yung apektado. Kasi yung Pangulo, Eli, pag nagsasalita, lahat tayo nakikinig kasi nasa balita siya. Lahat nababasa. Pag ganito yung pagtingin sa mga kababaihan, hindi lang naman ito kay Mayor Sara o sa akin o kung sino pang mga kilalang women leaders, pero yung sa lahat ng kababaihang mga Pilipino, lahat na Pilipina, may epekto yung mababang pagtingin ng pinuno.
While pointing out that women do not need her defense from Duterte's misogynistic perception, Robredo noted that many countries led by women have impressive COVID-19 response. Robredo is the one opposition leading bets from 2022 presidential race. Cory's and Lenny's entries in politics may have been calculated. It was interpreted by the public as their way continuing emphasize the careers of their husbands. Philippine politics, we have seen two significant women. Those careers were redefined by the termination of their spouses. Former President Corazon Aquino and current Vice President Maria Leonor Robredo. These two women might not have planned on getting into politics, although they are already relatively active in civic affairs prior, but the short deaths of their spouses seems to have promoted them to assume these spouses' political aspiration, as perceived by many. Their entry into politics may have been planned. An act was interpreted by the public as their way of continuing punctuated the careers of their husbands. The public also saw these two women are still connected to their domestic lives. Many Filipinos dishonored Aquino for being homemaker who became president, while Rene Robredo was tagged as Lenny Lugaw by social media trolls. The public used these two women's domestic function as their way of being women per se, as a basis to discredit their leadership. Their track records has never been considered as a basis of their competence or lack thereof.
The Philippines has had two women president, Corazon Aquino from 1986 to 1992 and Gloria Macapagal Arroyo from 2001 to 2010. This is Michelle Paulinho, Headlines Express.
Up next, trans woman arrested after using women's restroom in Cubao.
Jeepney drivers operate sa Manila Highway for subsidy. We will be right back after a short break.
This is Headlines Express.
Mayroong bagong strain ng COVID dito sa Pilipinas at napagpasyahan ng Pangulo na ilagay muli ang bansa sa lockdown. Pinapayuhan na ang lahat ay mag-imbak ng pagkain sa kanilang bahay.
We are responsible for that.
Be a media literate.
Stop spreading false information.
Think before you click.
Headlines Express.
A transgender woman was detained by police in Quezon City Tuesday afternoon after a scuffle with the mall personnel for using female comfort room.
28 years old transgender named Gretchen Custodio Diaz was later released Tuesday night after the mall's management dropped the endless vexation complaints against her. This is scenes from this video recording of her confrontation with the janitress who barred her from using women's comfort room at the mall.
Sa babae, nasis ko siya, ma'am, patayin mo yan.
Bakit po? Anong batas yun na lalabag? Anong policy po?
May uting ka pa rin, tandaan mo yan.
Bawal yan magbibideo ka. Ano nang agaw na?
Janitress said that Gretchen still had pennies, so she could not use the woman's comfort room. The janitress later apologized to this true handwritten letter at a police station, and she said that she willing to study the rights of LGBTQ+. This was released on the same night after the complaint was withdrew. However, this maintained that she will file charge against the mall for violating a Quezon City ordinance that prohibits discrimination based on person SOGI. Meanwhile, the Philippine LGBT Chamber of Commerce said it's open to conduct the dialogues with businesses to educate them on how to ensure the rights of LGBTQ+ community.
Jeepney drivers have seen protesting on the road despite risking their lives due to pandemic. Here's the story.
Jeepney drivers with reusable bags on their palms and cartoon posters attached on their necks are calling for donors on the highway to other passengers who appear to pass by them. In an aim to reduce the spread of coronavirus, Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte ordered everyone to stay home all the time and to limit the transportation system. In an effort to reduce the down transmission of coronavirus,
Isang order lang. Pasok kayo sa bahay, huwag kayong lumabas kung ayaw ninyong mahawa.
Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte directed everybody to remain at home and to prevent the mass transit. Because of this, those jeepney drivers must have nothing to do all day collect money because they have no funds to put on health and necessities. Jeepney drivers, along with their respective jeepneys, travel every day to suffice the daily needs of their families by abruptly stopping all public transportation because of the order of the president without any compensation. They hardly leave every day, which force other jeepney drivers to stay on street and ask for money because they do not have enough money to spend for house rents, foods, and others. With a sad statement, this is indeed needed to be acted quickly and also the reasons why this should be known by every Filipinos.
Nag-aaralan na po na bigyan ng pangatlong buwang ayuda ang mga jeepney drivers na nawala ng hanap buhay po dahil hindi pa po pinapayagan na bumiyahe ang ating mga jeepney.
The first solution given by the government is the having the first wave of the social amelioration program that granted 10,000 pesos to minimum wagers. The government see that it was not enough, so they followed up another wave with the same amount. The third one is specifically for the jeepney drivers. When the lockdown became looser, they already allowed public utility vehicles to travel, but considering the IATF regulations.
Talagang nahirapan kami. Dahil una-una, dumating yung sub sa amin, huli na. Ay wala naman kaming ibang makuhaan. Dito lang sa sasakyan na to, sa biyahe namin. Talagang ang ginawa namin, naging tawag kami sa mga kamag-anak namin sa probinsyang mga mayroon-mayroon at saka naging
Drivers had to make their vehicle a strain of bacteria to increase the capability and to comply the social distance regulations. This is Steffi Ann Sincop reporting for Headlines Express.
Last semester, the University of Caloocan City released the top 5 performing communication students in 1A North based on their retention grade.
Nathaniel Gomez, who got the highest retention grade of 1.12, to be followed by Aliyah Pakis that got 1.19, and Mark Torrecampo with a retention grade of 1.24, same with Zaid Fajardo, and last but not the least, Jabez Mancho that got 1.29.
On the other story, recently the University of Caloocan City Chorale were opened the doors for aspiring singers. As the result, 3 communication students in 1A North got past the audition. Here's our interview from one of the passers.
Yung natanggap ako sa UCC Chorale, at first nagulat ako nun kasi bungad sa umagi. Tsaka unexpected din siya kasi sumali kasi ako ng UCC Chorale. Kasi sumali yung dalawa kong friend, si Precious tsaka si Mary Jade, para i-support ko sila. Tapos yan, happy din naman at the same time kasi matagal ko nang gusto makasali sa sa org na choral since nung junior high pa lang ako. Ayun.
Congratulations to all of you! Keep it up! I'm Michelle M. Paulinho from Chika Express!
Thank you, Michelle.
And those are the top stories that we gathered around the metro.
For more news to keep you updated, just go to www.headlinesexpress.com.ph. This is Precious Plaza.
And this is Bush Ignacio. The truth is our top priority.
News of the latest.
Serve to the masses.
This is
Headlines Express.